So today we want to discuss about the first sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. This is in Arabic. العجز آفة والصبر شجاعة والزهد ثروة والورع جنة ونعم القرين الرضا. So, as I said before that, in a different books, I mean, because we have different translation of Nahjul Balaghah and also, different, I can say, organization and the, different types of, how can I say, because some of the authors, some of the translator, they said we have to separate one of the sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin to two sayings, or some of them they combined together. So this is, you can see a little bit difference in some Nahjul Balaghah, but all of them are same. All of the sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin are in Nahjul Balaghah, in different books, in different published, are same, but the difference is exactly about the number of sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin. So this is the first one. So brother Shafiq, please read the translation.
نعم سيدنا. Incapability is a catastrophe. Endurance is bravery. Abstinence is riches. Self-restraint is a shield against sin. And the best companion is submission to God's will.
Very good. So about the first part is talking about the ajz. Al-ajzu afa. Helplessness as calamity. So at first we have to understand what's the real meaning of ajz. When we are searching in some books, we understand the real meaning of ajz is helplessness or unable or incapable. These are the, we can say good translation in English for al-ajz. So, and as you know, we are naming miracle in Arabic mu'jiza. So what's the relation between mu'jiza and ajz? Because in mu'jiza, one of the prophet is, is showing and expressing something that after that enable others to, deliver, to do exactly like that. This is the, relationship between the mu'jiza and ajz. But we have two types of the helplessness, or I can say ajz, in ahadith. One of them is kind of ajz that we ourselves made it, and second one, that is a thing that is out of our power and we didn't make it. So about the second one absolutely is a testing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a divine testing. So, and we shouldn't be worried about it. As an example, if someone is not able to walk, is not able, maybe, I don't know, maybe to eat because it's blind, he's a blind or she's a blind person, or maybe someone it's unable to maybe do infaq because is a poor person. In this case, because this is a divine test, so we shouldn't be worried about it. And we have to say, Alhamdulillah, we have to be patient in this way, and we can be sure about the result of enduring and the being patient and the problem and hardship that we have. But Amir al-Mu'min says, this ajz is talking about the first type, the type that we ourselves, we made it. We made this kind of ajz. So if I want to say some example through Nahjul Balaghah about the ajz that we make it ourselves exactly, one of them, it's I think it's 13 sayings of Amir al-Mu'minin. Imam says, أعجز الناس من لا يقدر عن اكتساب الإخوان. Somebody is not able to find for himself or herself A friend is capable, is incapable, is, unable, helplessness. So this is exactly one of them. When we can have the good relationship, we are not connecting with the people as best as possible. So it shows that we are unable. And this kind of being unable, this is one of the things that cause shame, that cause, calamity. So, and second example, if I want to say, through Nahjul Balaghah, Imam says, one who is not thankful of others is absolutely unable. When we don't have this ability, this skill to be thankful, because as you know, nowadays psychologists, when they are, thinking about the lifestyle, as a lifestyle, and we have to consider that it's try to be thankful of others, especially after marriage. We need it, always we need, when want to have a good life, we have to be thankful. This is the main reason that nowadays many of family members, many of the spouses, they are struggling, they are arguing with each other when they are not thankful, when the goodness that they are observing and they are seeing their life. So in this case, they will cause lots of problem in their lives. When I'm not thankful in a session, as an example, in this session, when I'm not thankful, when you're doing something good, maybe some of the brothers and sisters had a research for this session, or maybe has a recitation of Quran, or doing some other things, or maybe good listener, or some other things. If I'm not thankful, if I don't have this ability, this skill, so as a result, I'm myself, I have to be shameful, and I will cause maybe a calamity, and it's afa, and I will have lots of problem, because in this case I can connect with you. When I'm not thankful, I can connect with you, and after some days maybe we have to separate from each other. This is one of the things that all of the human beings they love. All of the human beings they love to do something. So as a result, others they will be thankful to our action. We like the reaction of others about our action, good reaction. When we don't get good reaction from others, we will be hopeless. But real muttaqi, I have to say one thing between parentheses. Real muttaqi, it's exactly vice versa. They don't, pay attention about anything else, anybody. They don't pay attention about the thanking of others. They're not caring about it. They don't mind it. But we can say most of us, we are regular and normal human being, and a little bit at least we are paying attention about the thank thing of others. But our duty is be thankful of others. If we are not, we are unable. If I want to say third example through Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali says, someone falling in love with someone else without testing that person, without testing, is not important. It's, the sexuality is same or not. Someone that you want to engage with, him or her. Maybe your brothers as a friend, or your maybe for ladies, the sisters as a maybe as a friend, or we want to maybe engage with someone else as a spouse. Both of them. When you are falling in love with somebody without testing that person before, it's it's kind of, a person that is unable, is kind of person that is, we can say, incapable. Yeah. So this is another example that Imam says. And if I want to explain about this one, that was only, example. That was only example that I want to say. We have in Nahjul Balaghah some helplessness, because some of the brothers and sisters, they joined us right now. I have to a little bit explain again. We're talking about forcing of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and the first part is al-ajzu afa. Helplessness is calamity. So, and we're talking about different example in Nahj al-Balaghah about helplessness that Imam Ali is mentioning about them and says these are rejected. These are kind of thing that shameful if you have this kind of helplessness. And I said we have two kinds and two types of helplessness. One of them is out of your power. This is the divine testing, and don't be worried about it. But another one that is in your power that you can achieve, that you can gain it. This is the thing that you have to be shameful about it, and you have to be regretful and try to gain it. So a third example was, Imam says in Nahjul Balaghah, falling in love of someone without testing that person is before engaging. It's kind of helplessness. We have to control our love. Unfortunately, in our country, and I'm sure in lots of countries, they believe when they want to get married, at first they are trying to fall in love with someone, and after that they say, oh, maybe we are good for each other. No, this is not a way. At first we have to understand by our logic, by thinking that we are suitable for each other or not. We can have a good family with each other or not. Our faith, or maybe social rank, or some other things are in the same position, and we can have a good connection and good relationship or not. When you are starting your marriage with falling in love with somebody, because you didn't use from your logic, from your thinking and thoughts, after that you will face lots of problem in your life, because maybe after 1 year, 2 years, that your love will be decreased and will be stable, I can say better. In that time you will understand that you made a mistake. So this is another kind and type of the helplessness that Imam Ali alayhi salam mentioned in Nahjul Balaghah. So this is the first part. If you have any question about the first part, you can ask your question. If you don't have, we can talk about the second one. So second part, Imam says, as-sabru shaja'a. As-sabru shaja'a. What's the meaning of this one? At first, we have to understand what's the real meaning of sabr. Sabr, I mean the patience. It's exactly waiting for something and for some situation, not. Because when we are hearing patience and sabr, we imagine we have to wait, we have to stop, we have to stay and to look what will happen. No, absolutely, patience is not waiting and stopping to look what will happen. Patience, it means struggling in a battlefield, because Imam says as-sabru shaja'a is bravery. As-sabr is bravery. Who is brave? brave is a person in a battlefield does not will surround it and will continue struggling with enemies till be a winner and a victory. So this is the real important point about the sabr. Sabr is a struggling, and we have to know at first about it. So we have in different hadiths that are talking about the different sabr in our life. Imam Ali alayhi salam has one hadith in Ramadan, I think I mentioned, that he says as-sabru sabran, sabrun ala al-ma'siyah, sabrun ala al-musiba wa sabrun ala ma takrah. This is two kind. But Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is completing this one and says we have three types of sabr. One of them, the first one, it's about ta'ah. It's about worshiping of Allah. Second one, it's about ma'siyah. It's about sin and committing sin. And the third one, Imam says, sabrun about musiba, about hardship, problems. We have three types. Third one, it's out of our control. Yeah, this is something that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only after that we need a sabr and patience. But the first one and second one, it's a little bit more important because we ourselves, we want to start to have sabr. This is in our, we can say, control. So sabr about worship means what, as sabr about what we want to do. We need to struggle sometimes to do something. As an example, awaken in the morning for Salat Fajr, for Salatul Layl. It needs struggling with shaitan. So in a way of worship, in a way of ta'ah, we need to struggle with shaitan. This is the first type that all of us we have in a life, and we sure every day, every moment when we want to do something good, we have to struggle with shaitan. But one point maybe here it can be useful here. In Islam we have habit. Habit. Habit is not all the time bad thing. Yeah, sometimes having habits is not good things because we are doing something wrong. If we have a bad habit, so we're repeating that thing every day and every moment again and again. But about the worshiping of Allah, habit is a good thing. We have to try to have habit about the worshiping of Allah. As an example, having wudu and being with the wudu every moment. This is one of the suggested a'mal. Because in this case, we can have a pure body, pure soul. So it's really hard. Every moment we will be with wudu. It's hard. But if you're doing this one during maybe some days, or according to a hadith, 40 days, after that it will be like habit. And you can do it so maybe easily after that. And even you don't think about it. You're taking wudu, you're taking ablution without thinking. Because this is kind of habit. Or another example, someone that didn't till now say prayer at a time, so it's hard for him or her to say prayer at time. It's really hard. But someone has this habit that is saying prayer maybe at time. It's really hard for that person to don't do it, to postpone it. It's really hard. Every minutes that person will be bothered, because this is kind of habit. Or some other things. When we have a habit, it will be really more easy for us to do something and easier. If I want to say one example, when only we are fasting during a year in a Ramadan, not in another time, fasting in the first day of Ramadan, it's really hard. It's really hard because after 1 year you want to fast. But in the maybe last of Ramadan, I'm sure that our physique is tired from the fasting, and maybe we need some more, I don't know, protein or some other things. Maybe our physique will be more weak from the first days of Ramadan. But one point, in the last days of Ramadan, we don't think that we want to fast. We shouldn't eat something. We shouldn't drink something. As a habit, we are doing. So, a habit in ta'atullah, in worshiping of Allah, it's good thing. We have to try to make habit for ourselves. And as I said in the hadith, we have, if you want to do it, 40 days is the best one. And nowadays, as I've written, I've read something about habit, something like 40, it's proved right now by scientists. This is one of the good things that can help you to have habit about one, thing that you want to have in your life. So this is the first one. And second type of sabr, second type of, patience, is sabrun ala al-ma'siyah. When you want to commit sins, you have to struggle with shaitan. You have to argue. You have to be against the shaitan. This is the second type. And it's absolutely hard. Absolutely hard. Every moment, every time that we will have this problem, we have to struggle with shaitan. We have to be sabur. We have to be patient in this way. And third patience, is patience about musibah, difficulties and problems and hardship. And all of us, we have to be sure this life is a life of hardship. We are here to face the hardship. And we shouldn't get tired from the hardship. When we are getting tired from the hardship, we are not ready. We are not ready for the another life and afterlife. When maybe we are hopeless. We are hopeless about the helping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It means that we are loser in this kind of patience. If you want to be maybe a winner in this kind of patience, I mean patience about the hardship, we shouldn't get tired. We shouldn't maybe be hopeless about the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you want to understand all of these type of the patience, all of them are sabr. If you want to understand the importance of sabr in a life, you can pay attention about this hadith again from Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. He says the importance of patience, comparing with our faith. When we want to compare faith and patience together, Imam says patience is like the head of a body that is a faith. How much is important the head for a body? The whole of one body is the head. Everything that is controlled by our head. And we are seeing everything by our head. And Imam alayhi salam says, patience is the head of your faith. So this is the importance of sabr. So, brothers and sisters, if you have any question about this part, because the first part and second part were the important part in this sayings, if you have any question, you can ask. If you don't have, maybe a little translation about third and fourth type. Question? Nothing? Yes. So about the third part, وَالْوَرَعُ جُنَّةٌ. So piety is the best weapon of defense. Wara' is piety, as we had in translation. But if we want to understand the conclusion of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam about the zuhd and piety, we can pay attention about this one. Imam says the conclusion of Quran, the conclusion of the meaning of zuhd is لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم. This is a verse in Surah Hadid. So I think it's verse 23. Verse 23, Surah Hadid. لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم. Imam says the real meaning of zuhd is it's this one. What's the meaning of this ayah? It means if you lose something, you shouldn't be worried about it. If you're gaining something about the exactly physical, gaining and physical thing that we are losing, not about the spiritual matters, spiritual points. No, about the physical and materialistic things. When you're losing something, you're not worried at all about it. And when you're gaining something, you're not happy about it. This is the real meaning of, Imam says, the conclusion of meaning of zuhd is this one. If we want to be zahid, if we want to be pious, we have to try to be like this. We should ignore everything that we are gaining in this life, especially about the materialistic things and the physical things. They're not important. Money shouldn't be important. If you're gaining lots of, I don't know, rupee or, I don't know, dollars, shouldn't be important for me. If I'm losing, shouldn't be important for me. And, another thing, maybe, I forgot it. What I want to say. I want to say one example exactly. Maybe this is so helpful here and can help us. So you can imagine the action and reaction of one children, and maybe I can say maybe some teenager or before that some toddlers. So when you're giving them chocolate or candy, all of them they will be happy. Only for one candle, and that's actually one candy, and that person, that children, 5 years later, 10 years later, they will not be happy from maybe 1 kilo chocolate, because that person is not that person again right now, and can understand the real meaning of happiness and what's the things that worth of my happiness. So this is the problem that all of us we have. We are living in this world like child. We don't we don't understand the thing that I have to be happy for. That it's spiritual matters, it's perfection, nothing else. not gaining or earning some money or some other things. How much how much we are caring about the money, about the things that we want to gain, or how much something that we are losing is important for us. It shows that exactly same as that one, we are child in a way of perfection. We are not we are not adult in a way of perfection. So, and we need to try it. We need to try to maybe rethink about the real worth, real, wealth in this world. Exactly. And last part, I think it's clear. وَالنِّعْمَ الْقَرِينُ الرِّضَى. If we are searching about the best companion, best friend, absolutely it will be rida. It will be Allah's will. When you are submitting about Allah's will, it can be the best friend. Because what's the benefit of one friend and a companion? It wants to bring for you happiness, wants to bring for you comfort, and absolutely Allah's will. When you're submitting about Allah's will, we will be happy, we will be comforted in our life, we don't have any problems in our life. So that was maybe the translation and explanation a little bit about forcing of Amir al-Mu'minin for our today's session. So right now, if you have any question that you want to ask it right now, you can ask, but maybe if it's private, like previous session that some of the brothers and sisters asked me some question, you can ask your question, inshallah, after that. Nothing. So thank you for joining us today, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this discussion, this thinking about Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam's word as one storage, as a one storage in a way of the resurrection, in the day of resurrection, and will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save it for us, inshallah, for that time that all of us, we are full of need to some goodness and some maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And please send your best and send Fatiha to all of the brothers and sisters. They were between us, and they are passed away, for parents, for our grandparents, and our ancestor by the recitation salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Thank you, brothers and sisters. في أمان الله.